नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिरभवती नैष्ठिकी। Printraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So we're going to read one shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 26th chapter, titled as Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. Kapila Dev is explaining to Mata Devhuti about the 24 elements of material nature. Every living entity is composed of these 24 elements, which includes 5 natural elements called as earth, water, air, fire, ether, 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, and 5 objects of senses. And then are the most important mind, intelligence, and ego, along with consciousness. So in this last few shlokas, Kapil Dev is he explained about the mind, how the mind is formed. The mind is formed from the false ego in the mode of goodness. And the function of mind is sankalpa and vikalpa, accepting and rejecting. And the adhisthata of mind is Bhagavan Aniruddha, who is the expansion of Lord Vishnu. Then in the next shloka, number 29, Kapila Dev explained to Mata Devhuti about how the intelligence is formed. Intelligence is above the mind. It is supposed to control the mind and senses. And the intelligence arises from the false ego in the mode of passion. And intelligence helps one in ascertaining the nature of objects when they come into the view. And intelligence is also helping senses. So, in the next shloka, then Kapila Dev is explaining to Mata Devhuti about the function of intelligence. So, Kapila Dev is saying in this shloka, Samsayo atha viprayanso nischaya smrutireva cha स्वापैति उच्यते बुद्धेर लक्षणम वृत्तित पृथक samshaya atha viprasya. Samshaya is doubt, and viprasya is misapprehension. Nishchaya is correct apprehension. Smruti is the memory, and swapna, the sleep. All these are buddhi lakshanam. These are the lakshana. These are the functions of or characteristics of buddhi, intelligence. So here the translation: doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory, sleep are, as determined by the different functions, are said to be the distinct characteristics of intelligence. So Srila Prabhupada ji is now going to explain us in detail about the different functions of intelligence, buddhi. So Prabhupada ji is saying, doubt is one of the important functions of intelligence. Blind acceptance of something does not give evidence of intelligence. Right? So when there is some philosophy being or some concept being explained, a doubt arises in the mind, and that is function of intelligence. In Bhagavad Gita, when Lord Krishna was explaining to Arjuna about different yoga system, Arjuna always had a question. This question is the function of intelligence. Therefore, the word samsaya is very important. In order to cultivate the intelligence, one should be doubtful in the beginning. In the beginning is okay. But doubting is not very favorable when the information is received from proper source. We should not doubt the words of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. We should not we should not have any samshaya about the information given in Vedic literature. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these are valid information. There should not be any doubt. But even if you have a doubt, one can ask in a very submissive way to a bona fide spiritual master who has realized the absolute truth, like Srila Prabhupada. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that doubting the words of authority is the cause of destruction. So if you have a doubt about the words of authority, then there is no chance of progress in the spiritual life. So here, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that doubt is okay in the beginning, but one should not doubt the authority. Further, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, as described in the Patanjali system of yoga, pramana vipraya vikalpa nidra sprutayaha. So these are other characteristics of intelligence. By intelligence only one can understand the things as they are. By intelligence only one can understand whether or not he is the body. So by intelligence we can think, oh, am I the body or I am separate from the body? If you ask little child, what is this? My nose, my ear, my cheek, my lip, my body, my hand, my leg, my car, my bungalow. So when you say my, which means that you are the owner of this. You never say me body, me nose. So by intelligent person would understand logically, oh, I'm something beyond. I'm the owner of this body. I'm not this body. So the function of intelligence is to help you to understand the reality. By intelligence only one can understand whether or not one is body. The study to determine whether one's identity is spiritual or material begins in doubt. When one is able to analyze his actual position, the false identification with the body is detected. So when one understands with intelligence one's actual real identity, our real identity is that we are part and parcel of Krishna. We are servant of Krishna. This body is given us to serve Lord Shri Krishna. That is very important understanding. So when one is able to analyze this actual eternal relationship, this is called viprayasa. So real identification, viprayasa. And false identification, which is I am the body, I am the owner of the body, I am the enjoyer of the body. These are all false identification. Real understanding is described here as nishchaya or proved experimental knowledge. This experimental knowledge can be achieved when one has understood the false knowledge. So when one understands, oh, I am something beyond this body. What is that? So I am a spirit soul. And where the soul comes from? The soul comes from super soul, Paramatma. Atma comes from Paramatma. So that is the real knowledge. By experimental or proved knowledge, one can understand that he is not the body but the spirit soul. Smriti means memory and swapna means sleep. So these are another functions, remembrance and sleep. Sleep is required to keep the intelligence active. If there is no sleep, the brain will not work nicely. So when the brain will be tired, lazy, fatigued. In Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that persons who are regulated in eating, sleeping, and entertainment, they can become very successful in the life. So what is that shloka? Yuktahar viharascha, yukta chetasya karmasu, yukta swapna bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Yukta means balanced. Not too much, not too less. These are some of the aspects of analytical study of intelligence I described both in Patanjali system of yoga and Sankhya philosophy system of Kapila Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, to summarize, the understanding of the intelligence, it is very important to understand from the Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto, 26th chapter, 29 and 30 shloka, where the intelligence arises from the false ego in the mode of passion. And intelligence helps us to assist, to understand the nature and characteristics of objects. And also it helps us to assist the senses in their functioning. And intelligence has various functions as mentioned in this shloka. So what are the functions of the intelligence? So as mentioned here, there are 5 functions of intelligence. Samshaya, which is doubt. Viprayasha means misappreciation, apprehension, false understanding. Nishchaya means correct understanding. Smriti means memory. And sleep or swapna. These are the 5 basic functions. Now, Prabhupada ji in detail explained about the doubt. What is the doubt? Doubt is one of the functions of intelligence. It is required in the beginning, but one should not doubt the words of Vedas, words of Guru, words of Guru Parampara, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So, as said in Bhagavad Gita, Samshayatma Vinashyati. If you are too much doubtful, then the destruction is guaranteed. Then you will not progress in bhakti. So yes, you can have questions. And if you have questions, one should be very humble and inquire from a realized spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. The next function of intelligence is misapprehension, viprayansha. Understanding that I am not the body, removing the misunderstandings. That is the function of intelligence, which is viprayasha, misapprehension. Because this misidentification can lead to bondage with the body and can lead to repeated birth and death. Then the next function of intelligence is correct apprehension, which is the nishchaya. And it comes from analysis and realization. Recognizing oneself as the Atma and not the body. True knowledge after removing the misconception. That is the 3rd function. 4th function of intelligence is memory, smriti. It stores the experiences and wisdom. It reconciles all the information and helps us in decision making. Even Bhagavad Gita in 15th chapter, 15 shloka, Lord Krishna says that aham sarvasya hridayo aham sarvasya prabhavo mato sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. And Lord says that from me comes the memory, and from me comes the sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishto sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishto matah smriti gnanam apohanancha vedescha sarvahamya vevedyo. Lord Krishna says that from me comes the memory, intelligence and forgetfulness. Okay, so that is matah smriti gnanam apohanancha. So smriti, intelligence come from Krishna. And then sleep. It is very vital. It is very vital for the functioning of intelligence. Lack of sleep will lead to lack of functioning of the intelligence. So one has to be balanced in sleeping. Not too much, not too less. So about 6 hours of sleep is good. Some people need little more, but not more than 8 hours. So it is required. So Patanjali yoga system, Sankhya philosophy, both of them confirm this role and functions of characteristics of intelligence, right? So to summarize, There are 5 functions of intelligence. One is doubt, false misinterpretation, correct interpretation, memory, and sleep. And balanced life is very important, right? So, regulated life will support sharp intelligence. Use the intelligence in service of Krishna, right? Then our life will be successful. So, in this way, we'll pause here and we'll continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam for tomorrow. Rudraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.